So Will Smith's bid for redemption amongst the Hollywood elites is shut down immediately when his movie Emancipation got absolutely no nominations at this year's Golden Globes. And people are talking about it like it's some sort of a shock. And for me, it was like, did you actually expect to get nominated for anything after what you did? You exposed yourself to the world by being a complete and utter cock, jumping up on stage and smacking a guy for no reason. And we're not going to get behind you anymore. The veil has been lifted. We know exactly the type of person you are. So it doesn't matter what sort of media tour you do to grovel and to snivel all over the place and make excuses. Because we've seen the world of excuses coming out of Will Smith and the people surrounding him and his handlers and any directors that are working with him. To think like the audacity of a big studio like Apple TV actually thinking and preferring to use this movie, Emancipation, another slavery movie, which at this stage, do we need it? I don't know. I don't know what that's about. I don't know who this is aimed towards. Probably towards libtoids to keep them triggered and simmering on boiling point so they can attack everybody and anybody who's proud of their heritage or that so happen to be white. Because right across the board, we know that there's a massive anti-white propaganda movement happening.
All white people suck. We all suck at some point, and I'm sorry.
Propagated by politicians, propagated by media, and eaten up by the libs, gobbled down by these nutcases. So the rumors at the moment coming out of Apple TV are that they had the choice between Ridley Scott, Martin Scorsese, and Anton Fuqua's Emancipation. The Ridley Scott movie is Napoleon with Joaquin Phoenix, and Martin Scorsese's Killer's Flower Moon with Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro. So apparently the choice was there. These movies were ready for the December push into Oscar season and into award season, and Apple, with all its knowledge, decides to go with a movie about slavery starring Will Smith about 6 months after he just got suspended and barred from the Oscar ceremony for 10 years.
What?
How does that make sense in any way, shape or form? It's unbelievable the arrogance of these people to think that, okay, let's just forget about everything that happened and we'll just memory hole it and we'll keep on going with the rhetoric. Absolutely not. It's not going to work. If we jump back here to this article, right before the nominations were announced for any of these award shows, we could see that the studio and the director were running cover again for Will Smith, where they talked about, listen, I'd love some compassion for Will Smith because basically there was a 9-month shoot and it was one of the most exhausting and taxing events of his entire life. And right after we wrapped on that film, he rolled straight into the Oscar ceremony where the stress got to him and he left it get the better of him and resulted in him slapping someone across the face for no reason. So they were already running cover for this 2 or 3 weeks ago. You already had the choice to pick 2 other films that, no doubt, coming from Ridley Scott and Martin Scorsese, are going to be decent films and worthy of Oscar contention. But you chose the movie that plays into where the Oscars are now, which is a complete and utter shill fest of identity politics, diversity and inclusion.
The Oscars are adding new criteria films must meet in order to be eligible in the Best Picture category. The goal is to improve diversity and inclusion.
Shut up, bitch!
And it's not really about movies anymore. That's what you thought you could do in the face of the controversy that Will had stirred up. And I think that it was arrogant and I think it was disgusting and I think you get exactly what you deserve. And I hope that this is just the beginning of what's to come for the movie Emancipation and Will Smith. Because we don't need to be beaten over the head repeatedly by Hollywood and talks about reparations for something that happened 300 years ago. And we definitely don't need to be listening to Will Smith talking about his past on Jimmy Kimmel trying to make up excuses for his absolutely disgusting, despotic behavior. We don't need to hear any of that. Let me know your thoughts down below. Hit subscribe and share if you can. I'd appreciate it. Cheers.